Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Always ready to dig in.
Today we're looking at something super interesting. A real trend I've noticed.
Yeah.
More and more Moroccans learning English.
It's really fascinating, right?
It is, and we've got some really cool sources. This article, Text Call, dives deep into this whole thing.
Yeah, Texcale is it's a great starting point for this, I think.
It is. It is. So let's get into it. What's the big takeaway for you? What's bringing this whole shift?
Well, I think you have to start with the fact that English is just everywhere. Globally,
Yeah,
over 1.5 billion speakers.
it's mind-boggling, right?
It is. It's like the default language for so much. Business, tech, science, even diplomacy, you name it.
It's true. And the article makes a really strong point about how that impacts a country like Morocco,
Oh, absolutely.
especially for students and academics.
Right. Think about research, especially in STEM fields.
Yeah,
It's almost all published in English. If you're a Moroccan student or professor wanting to get ahead.
to be in the conversation,
Exactly. You need English.
you need to be in that world.
You have to be. And it's not just about keeping up academically, it's about opportunity.
Economic opportunity, right?
Exactly. Morocco is trying to grow its economy, attract investment, and English is seen as, critical for that.
Totally. And, the article actually had a really interesting example about this.
Well,
It was a Moroccan travel company. I can't remember the name off the top of my head.
sure.
But they managed to get this huge investment from a UK firm.
Wow.
And it was specifically because they could communicate effectively in English.
See, that's what I mean. Those are the doors that open up. It's powerful.
It really is. But it's not just about the economics, though, right? I mean, the article also talked about a cultural shift away from French.
Oh, yeah, that's a whole other fascinating layer to this.
It is. What's your take on that? Why are Moroccans sort of turning away from French?
Well, there's definitely a sense from some that French represents, a colonial past.
That baggage, right?
Exactly. And for them, English feels more neutral, more globally relevant, if that makes sense.
It's like choosing a language is a statement of who you are.
It is. It's
Yeah.
about reclaiming their narrative. And then you also have this generational thing happening. Young Moroccans,
Yeah.
they're just surrounded by English on social media, in movies, music.
Pop culture.
Exactly. I mean, I remember learning English because I wanted to understand my favorite bands.
Totally. Me too. It's the language of cool sometimes, right?
It can be, but it's also the language of opportunity, especially for young people who want to study abroad.
Makes sense. You need English for scholarships
Yeah.
for top universities.
Right. It opens doors.
Yeah.
So you have these individual motivations, but also the government is really pushing English too.
The article mentioned the Ministry of Education is making big changes.
Oh, absolutely. They've got these ambitious plans to bring English into the curriculum early on,
Wow.
investing in teacher training, new textbooks, the whole
Right.
works.
That's a big shift.
It is. They recognize that if you want to prepare your citizens for the future,
Yeah.
English is essential.
Essential. And it also plays into Morocco's, role on the world stage.
Right. The article talked about that a lot, how
Yeah.
this benefits their international relations.
Yeah, and I thought it was interesting how they pointed out, stronger ties with English-speaking countries
Mhm.
like the U.S., that opens up a lot of possibilities.
Totally. Trade deals, security cooperation, development aid even.
Hmm.
But there's another piece here that I thought was really insightful.
Oh, okay, I'm intrigued. What is it?
Well, think about Pan-African organizations like the African Union.
Okay, yeah.
English is dominant there too. So as Morocco is trying to be a leader in Africa,
Yeah.
English becomes even more important. It helps them connect with other nations, navigate complex situations, have more influence.
That's fascinating. I hadn't even considered that angle.
It's a big deal. So it's not just about individuals getting ahead. It's about a nation strategically positioning itself for the future.
It's all connected. And it's not just the big picture stuff either, right?
Yeah.
There are practical benefits for everyday people, too.
Oh, tons, especially in the digital age.
Yeah.
Think about e-commerce, online learning, freelancing. All these things rely heavily on English.
It's the language of the internet, almost.
In a lot of ways, it is. And Morocco is tapping into that, which is really smart.
It is. But it's not all smooth sailing, is it?
Well, any big change is going to come with some challenges. The article mentioned potential pushback.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Especially from older generations or, institutions that are really tied to French culture.
Right. It's hard to shift those deeply ingrained habits and systems.
Totally.
And honestly, changing an entire educational system,
Yeah.
that takes a lot of time, resources.
Sure.
Yeah. The article even mentioned concerns about, budget problems and logistical hurdles.
It's a huge undertaking. It's not easy. But it seems like they're on the right track. This whole shift to English, it's really an incredible example of how a country can, adapt, evolve in this globalized world.
Exactly. It's about recognizing new realities and positioning yourself for success. And I think what's so interesting about Morocco is that they're doing this on multiple levels. They want to strengthen their economy, their cultural influence, their international standing.
And they see English as like a
A
key,
key to unlock all of that.
a bridge to a whole new future. It's exciting. And it makes you wonder about, the long-term impact on their culture. How will this reshape things? It's a question worth pondering, for sure. Well, this has been an incredible deep dive. I've learned so much about the forces shaping Morocco's linguistic journey. What about you? What stood out to you the most? We'd love to hear your thoughts. And remember, this is your deep dive, so
Yeah.
keep exploring those sources that sparked your curiosity. We'll catch you in the next one.